In finance, we're always told to trust the numbers. But what if the most important stories aren't in the numbers themselves, but in the spaces between them? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on one of those stories. It's one that's hidden in plain sight, and it reveals pretty much everything: a company's past, its future, and the very soul of its value.
So just picture this for a second. You've got two brilliant analysts. They're armed with the exact same data, the same annual reports, the same everything. One of them sees a golden opportunity, a buy signal that's just flashing bright green. The other one, they see a sinking ship. How on earth can two experts, looking at the exact same picture, see two completely different realities?
Well, the answer isn't buried in some complex algorithm or some secret piece of insider info. Nope. It's a single word. A single line on the income statement that most people, and even seasoned investors, just kind of gloss over. And that word is depreciation. Today, we're not going to treat it like some dry accounting term. We're going to treat it as the key that unlocks this whole valuation mystery.
But before we can actually use this key, we have to understand what it really is. And look, I'm not talking about the definition you memorized for a test. We need to see depreciation for what it is at its core: a story. A story that whispers about decisions made in the past and shouts about what's coming in the future.
This really gets to the heart of it. On one side, you've got the standard accounting view, the one from the textbook. It's not wrong exactly, but it's incomplete. It's like describing your favorite song by just listing the musical notes. But on the other side, you have the investor's reality, and this is where it gets really interesting. For an investor, depreciation isn't just a look in the rearview mirror. It's kind of a crystal ball, showing us what the future might actually hold.
Let me put it this way. Depreciation is like a magic umbrella. It doesn't actually stop the rain in this case is taxes, but it keeps you from getting totally soaked. By lowering a company's taxable income, it creates this tax shield, and that shield provides a very real, very valuable cash benefit. It's a perfect example of how a non-cash accounting entry can have a direct, tangible impact on a company's actual cash balance.
Okay, so we've established that depreciation can save a company real cash. Got it. But what a company does with that cash? Now, that's where the real story begins. This brings us right to the heart of the matter: the reinvestment engine. This is where we see, clear as day, whether a company is building its future or just letting it crumble away.
And it all boils down to two key numbers. First, you've got capital expenditures, or CapEx. This is the real money a company is spending right now on new stuff: new factories, new servers, you name it. And then you have depreciation. That's the echo of the past, right? The rate at which all that old stuff is wearing out. The dance between these two numbers, CapEx and depreciation, well, that's the dance of growth and decay. Now, this is what a growth company looks like. Think about a young, ambitious tech company building out massive new data centers, or a fast-growing retailer opening up new stores left and right. They aren't just replacing old equipment, they are aggressively laying the foundation for a much, much bigger future. Their CapEx is a roar, not a whisper.
Then you've got this, the maintenance mode company. It's kind of like a runner on a treadmill. I mean, they're putting in the effort, they're sweating, but they're not actually going anywhere new. They're spending just enough to keep the lights on, to replace what's broken, but they're not really investing in growth. And here is the danger zone. When a company's depreciation is consistently higher than its CapEx, it's like a ship that's slowly taking on water. It's not just standing still, it is actively sinking. The company is, in effect, eating away at its own foundation, and it's really only a matter of time before the whole thing comes crashing down.
So we've seen how the raw numbers themselves can tell a pretty compelling story. But what if I told you that the way a company calculates those numbers can be just as revealing? This is where we shift from being accountants to being psychologists. This is where we learn to read the manager's mind.
It's a question that seems to defy all logic, right? We live in a world where every company is obsessed with short-term profits. So why on earth would a CEO ever choose to make their company look less profitable? The answer? Well, it's a masterclass in signaling, and it gives us this fascinating glimpse into the mind of a truly confident leader.
Okay, let's break this down. A manager basically has two choices. They can go with the straight line method, which is nice and steady, very predictable, or they can choose the accelerated method, which is more like ripping off a Band-Aid. You take a lot of pain right up front. Now here's the real kicker. Even though that accelerated method makes the company look less profitable in the short term, the actual cash flow, it's exactly the same. So what's really going on here?
It's a total power move. That's what it is. A manager who chooses accelerated depreciation is basically sending a message, loud and clear. They're saying, we can take the hit. We are so confident in our future cash flows that we're willing to look bad now because we know we're going to look absolutely fantastic later. It is the ultimate sign of a management team that is playing the long game.
All right, enough with the theory. Let's get our hands dirty. Right now, we're going to assemble a toolkit, a set of really powerful diagnostic tools that will let us become financial detectives to uncover the hidden truths about a company's real physical health.
First tool up, the average age ratio. The easiest way to think about this is like it's a car's odometer. It just tells you how many miles are on the engine. By dividing the total accumulated depreciation by the original cost of the assets, we can get a really clear picture of just how used up a company's equipment really is.
Let me tell you, a number like 85% for this ratio isn't just a red flag. It is a blaring 5-alarm siren. It's a sign that a company is standing right on the edge of a CapEx cliff. They're about to get hit with a massive bill to replace all of that aging equipment. It's a financial time bomb, just ticking away in the footnotes.
Okay, next tool, the DNA to sales ratio. This is our spot the outlier tool. So imagine you're looking at two airlines. They fly the same routes, they use pretty much the same planes, but one of them has a much lower DNA to sales ratio. So you have to ask yourself, is it because they've discovered some secret to making their planes last longer? Or is it because their accounting is just a little more creative? This ratio forces us to ask those tough questions.
So, there you have it, your very own forensic analyst toolkit. The average age ratio, that's your early warning system for that CapEx cliff, and the reinvestment ratio, that's your window into a company's soul, revealing its real ambitions for the future. Powerful stuff.
We've covered a lot of ground. We've seen how a single line on a financial statement can be a story, a signal, a warning. But now I want to take you one level deeper, to the very heart of what depreciation truly represents. In the end, depreciation is about time. It's the financial world's way of admitting that everything, from the mightiest factory to the tiniest microchip, eventually turns to dust. It's a constant reminder that value isn't a trophy you win once. It's a garden that you have to tend to, every single day, to fight back against decay. So the real question, the one we're left with, isn't just what a company is worth today. It's whether it has the strength, the foresight, and the will to be worth anything at all tomorrow.